always a pleasure to be joined by field hockey and girls lacrosse coach Coach Snead. Coach Snead, you guys are still obviously in the early stages. I think had a couple scrimmages, but it's a new year, it's a new team. What are the goals this year?
I think for this group, I feel like we're finally back to a place where things feel normal. A full slate of traditions, a full schedule. We get to travel, have some overnights. I'm just really excited to get back to what the heart of who we are, and having a season where we can really focus on all the things that have made the program what it is today. So I think that's what it's about, return to who we are.
Yeah, and it seems from early returns, I think everyone feels really great about it. Talking to a couple of those seniors, their excitement level was palpable, you know. And one thing that's I've just always admired so much as a coach of how you're able to get your athletes to focus on the process, and then when it all comes out in the end, it's almost always an awesome result, but it seems more process driven. And can you just speak to how with this group you're continuing to keep them focused on the journey, maybe more than the destination?
I think for this group, because most of them have had a very disrupted high school field hockey process, and for the freshmen it's all new to them. So I think it's easy to get them to focus on the time together, the getting better every day, the building of it, because we've had that disruptive time. I think every year we have in the past really tried to do a good job of focusing on the short-term goals and understanding how important that those are for your long-term goals. And if we start focusing on the long-term goals without an eye on the short-term goals, it all just kind of falls apart. So I'm a foundational skills person. Let's see what we can do today and for this next game. Kind of one of our sayings is, first rule about Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. So we do that, and there are some kids in the hallways and conversations that are outside of my earshot where kids do let themselves get excited about what their long-term goals may be. But as a team, we really are trying to see what we can do to get better right now, and what we can do to get prepared for our next opponent. So
that sounds great. We can't wait to cover a bunch of games, and just looking forward to another great season. Thanks, Coach.
Go Titans.
All right, really excited to be joined here by a couple of our senior field hockey players, Valentina Ambrogi-Torres and Kendall Fleet. And Valentina, 5 years you've been in this program. You've obviously been part of some incredible teams. Now you're a senior and you've got younger athletes looking up to you. What are you going to do to continue the tradition of those who came before you?
Well, I always try to keep everyone communicated and together and just as a team, because that's how I was raised on the team. And I really look up to the seniors before me, like Emery and Erica, who are both goalies. Some big pads to fill, I used to say, but now I'm finally in them. So I really just want to make all the younger people know that it's not as scary as it looks, and we can do anything we think we're going to.
And same question for you. I know, you've dealt with a lot of disappointment in terms of your injury, but still I've watched what a huge leader you already are this season. I know you'll continue to be, but how are you going to be leading?
I'm definitely putting an emphasis on that the team is really a family, and that we are just one happy unit, and that we will always be there for each other, especially like during hard times and especially like hard games or something like that. So I'm putting a big emphasis on team bonding and just making sure that the entire team is just congealed together. Locker room time, before games.
So what specifically are some of the ways you mentioned in the locker room, but like, how do you all seem to every year in, year out, continue to maintain this just tradition of a family within a larger school community?
Team breakfasts has been one that we've always been emphasizing on. It's always fun to get together and be sleepy, but we always find a nice breakfast and just have that time.
Team outing, definitely. And also, I always try to make an emphasis of reaching out to the underclassmen during school day hours and making sure I say hello to them if I see them in the hallways. Or now that we have team study halls, we make sure to reach out to the underclassmen to tell them, like, if you need help with homework, we're here, and we're definitely a resource that everybody can use.
I've been a big help for Spanish. I've had almost every freshman and some juniors and sophomore come up to me and be like, "Hey V, how do I do the Spanish assignment?" I'm like, I can definitely help you with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw the team study halls. That's a really cool thing, and I think that's going to give a lot of structure for those younger student athletes and time management. Last thing, just because you all have been here for so long and seen a lot of amazing athletes who come before you and have moved on to the college level. You mentioned Erica. Is there any other specific individuals who you just want to try and kind of emulate what they did?
Well, I said Emery and Erica just because they were goalies, but also I was always really inspired by Genevieve. She's always been someone who we all played club together, even Kendall and I, we played club together, and it's always just been she's always been such a strong leader and a strong person in general, and I see her every once in a while. She still makes a point to ask me how season's going or anything like that, even if it's not season. But she's always been someone who's been a welcoming presence, but also so strong and confident in herself.
For me personally, I would say Corey Nichols. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and she was just such a strong leader. She always made sure that I was included in everything, and she's just great with communication and making sure that the team was all together and on time and on point every game. So.
I agree.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us. Best of luck this season. We can't wait to cover some of y'all's games and see how it goes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.